the guy wrote a book. It's a whole book on how to grow bigger and stronger glutes. Like that's what it's dedicated to.
Seriously, follow him on Instagram. I have so many saved posts of his. Her name is Carlie Petraitis. It's just someone that really helped me embody the whole expression "be big."
It's called Renaissance Periodization, RP Strength for short. And the thing I like about them is they're very research based. It's really important to find people that you can kind of resonate with. Don't just read off random forums online and get your information from, Big Biceps 22 at randomforum.com. All right, welcome to episode 3 of Strong Mind Built Body podcast with James and Paige.
Hi guys.
Paige, how's it going?
Going well. I'm doing well. Just sitting on the floor against a couch right now where I usually sit for these podcasts. I feel like our
Perfect.
setup is pretty casual. Where are you sitting right now currently?
Yeah, I'm literally just in my bed, like the last 3, just with a pillow propped up. Is this your usual work spot where you do your like paid
It
by?
is, yeah. I don't know why I sit on the floor versus a couch. Like, I really don't know why, but I'm sitting on a shag carpet and it's super comfortable. So I guess that's why I decided to park it here for
Yeah,
these.
and honestly, I said I have an office or quote an office, quote unquote, but I use it sometimes, but most of the time just on my bed with a pillow propped up.
Yeah, right. I mean, I know you can't really go wrong with that.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
also for all of you listeners, we have it on video mode right now just because obviously we're doing this remotely, but we thought it'd be easier to just like have a better conversational flow when we can actually see each other talking. And James has this wonderful like sock wrapped around his face, Mike.
my my
You gotta explain that one.
the foam piece fell off my mic, and we don't have it's not a very good mic to begin with, so it picks up all the sounds and what you might hear. And so the only solution I found was to put tie a sock around the end. So now it looks like I have a horn coming out of my cheek. But
Yeah,
hey,
it's really cute. It looks good.
good. I appreciate that.
uh,
Well, um,
so
oh, I wanted to say last podcast we got some more feedback again, and which is always exciting,
exciting.
super
Yay.
exciting for us. You guys have no idea. Um, so a friend told me that he likes the intro we do. The 45-second kind of sneak peek, and then put it before episodes. So that was your idea. So that's a very good call. So we will for sure continue to do that if that's something you
Yeah,
guys
thanks. I
appreciate.
like it too. I think it's a great way to like give people the kind of the scoop or the inside scoop on like yeah, what we're going to talk about in like a quick 20-second time frame and
Yeah,
hopefully the music is somewhat fitting.
yeah,
So, yeah, that's awesome.
perfect. Well, before we get into the podcast and meat of our podcast today, which is, I should probably mention this, it is our influences and our role models. We just want to talk about that, kind of give you some insight of who we look up to and where our information comes from. So we thought it'd be a
Yes.
fun episode because I know a lot of people ask me, who do I go to for this? And a lot of times there's a lot of different people for a lot of different answers or kind of goals you're looking for. So we're just going to give you some of our favorites, and then in the show notes we'll link below more too. So that's today's episode, our role models. But before that, I just wanted to ask Paige, just how's life? Like,
Yes.
what was your week like? How was training going? How's give us an update with your cancer. I mean, that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Thanks for asking. No, life is good. It's actually so as far as my like full body fit by page business, it's actually been steadily picking up. Like I feel like the hustle is slowly starting to pay off. So that's exciting. I gained a new client this past week. So
Nice.
shout out to Natalie if you're listening. You're awesome. um, we've been doing virtual training sessions. So that's been exciting. Definitely like something that I'm new to. But so far so good. It's been a lot of fun, and I think it can actually be really productive. So again, if you actually don't have access or like to an in-person trainer during these times where you don't feel comfortable training in person, like I don't know what you think, James, but virtual training is kind of where it's at right now.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, for sure. Are you doing virtuals in like your like a Zoom training or like a online program, or what's your setup?
Yeah, so like I have, I gave her access to her own online program that, we could look at the same time, but we're doing Zoom workouts. So, she's just setting me up on her phone so I can watch her form through the entire workout. So I'm on the line the entire time, just like
There you
able to
go.
motivate her and like correct her form and whatnot. But it seems to be working well.
Oh, that's
So
great. Is it just body weight stuff at home and
it's so she actually has access to a gym, so we've had like
nice.
full access
Wow,
to
so
weights,
you're full on.
machines.
Oh, that's perfect. That's really cool. Yeah,
Yeah,
because
no, it's been
that's
good.
a whole new, because usually people just do like at home workouts or whatever they have equipment at home, but a
hmm
gym, it's opens up a whole new, I know a lot of gyms don't allow like in-person trainers to train you at a gym unless it's their trainer, but if you're virtual, you
Yeah.
can do whatever you want. So that opens up a whole new kind of can of opportunities there. So
Yeah, for sure. And then also another thing I wanted to mention that's kind of exciting is so I did a fitness class outside all summer that I kind of designed, and it's all body weight and hour strength, full body, like
yeah.
focused, I guess you could
Oh,
say,
sure.
class. So I reached out to a fitness studio in St. Michael, which is near where I live right now, and hopefully by October 21st would be the first class that I'd be teaching actually at their studio, which is really
Wow.
exciting.
Dang, look at that.
Yeah.
Holy cow. And like, so this combination with your, Full Body Fit by Paige in combination with that, I mean, that's got to be like your full time. I mean, you're like in the deep right now. That's great.
I
That's
mean,
exciting.
I'm trying to just, yeah, like have multiple kind of like backgrounds and just kind of like
Yeah.
see what I like and what I don't like.
And hey,
But
I mean,
sorry,
and
Soul
source,
Fitness, or go ahead, go ahead.
I'll say, and source of income. I mean, that's always, you know,
Exactly.
it's a
No, I
big
got to be
plus.
real about that.
Right.
I'm just
Yeah.
trying to again like yeah, go from or have multiple sources of income because I'm still small and still learning a
Yeah,
lot. So, um, but
for
yeah,
sure.
shout out to Soul Fitness for allowing me to do that, and I'm gonna post about it on like social media and sent out some emails to kind of my network. But yeah, hope or stay tuned if you're live close to St. Michael, or even if you live in the Twin Cities. It's honestly like a 30-minute drive, so not too bad. And it would be a 45-minute class starting at 6:30 on Wednesday night. So again, like full body strength, mainly body weight exercises, socially distanced. So yeah, I'm
Perfect.
super excited about it.
Probably throw that up in the show notes too, a link or something. If you,
Yeah, why
yeah,
not?
there you
That'd
go.
be awesome.
Awesome. That's super exciting, Paige. Look at that. It's always fun to hear people like achieving their goals from a
Yeah,
small business,
slowly
because
but surely.
I totally understand how the little victories like that are mean a lot. In fact, they mean everything.
Yeah,
So
right? No, 100%. So on the flip side, I would love to know what's new with you and your business.
yeah, so Ryburn Training Systems is officially ready to take applicants this coming Friday. So
Yay, that's awesome.
I'm looking for about 20 to 30 people, kind of see how the ball rolls, to apply for personal training, virtual personal training. And my setup's a little different than Paige's for now. It's just more of a program, either training or nutrition plan, and kind of like online coaching. So you'll check in with me every week, and then within the week too. Um, but more or less the same kind of virtual idea. And I opened up, or just a few cool things I kind of are finalizing now. I made a Facebook group. So if you become a client of mine, you're kind of in this
Mhm.
inclusive Facebook group. It's a really nice kind of support system. That accountability aspect with other people is huge. Kind of,
Yeah,
I,
that's
I
awesome.
kind of was trying to think of how to, personal training is or working out is such an individualized sport. So how to make it a little more team effort, kind of feel like a part of a family. So I called it my Ryman Training Systems Facebook family. So be excited
No,
for
that's
that if you
awesome.
yeah, I'm
I,
excited
I
for it.
feel like And I feel like you're taking after some really successful trainers, and actually like one that I think I'm going to talk about today. I'm just having like a Facebook family like that. I think is super powerful, and especially like when people are remote like this, it's just nice because when you can't physically work out with other, people, just again being able to check in and like, talk about your lifts and motivate each other is like super cool.
Yeah, and well, I know the one you're talking about. You don't have to say it because she is so successful, and so many people say such good things about her. And I guess now talking about her, we could just go into who her is. But
Wait, are we talking? I'm curious. We might be talking
we
about
might be
the same
talking about the
person,
same
but we
person.
almost.
Are you talking
Oh,
about Katie Singer, Sonar?
Oh, so actually, well, she's one of my
Okay,
go-tos that I'm
there's
going to talk
another
about.
one.
But I'm talking about, yeah, so she has a group, yes. But I was talking about Carlie Petraitis.
See, look at that. I was wrong, but I didn't even know. I didn't know she had a Facebook group. I follow her on Instagram. I like her a lot.
Yeah, no, she did a challenge in September called the Be Big Challenge, and so I didn't partake in it because again, sorry, it cost a fairly decent amount of money,
Right.
and you'd have to like sign up to be her client. But I kind of like independently partook in it, if that
Yeah,
makes sense.
yeah.
So like just being able to like I don't know, she just was constantly spewing out like motivational whatever on her Instagram stories and like talking about the Facebook group and reposting like all her clients' lifts and like that in itself, just watching it is such like a way to like hype yourself up before working out. So
This wasn't the one with Bret Contreras in their recent like strong competition. I
no, that was like
Okay,
that was kind of the big end goal for her personally was like a
gotcha.
stronger
That's okay.
physique. But this is something she created
That's
independently
what
to kind
I.
of go along with
Or
it.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But she was at that meet, or maybe she wasn't.
She
Okay,
was.
okay, good.
No,
Okay, that's what I thought. I'm like,
she crushed it.
yep,
It
yeah,
was
okay,
awesome.
that's what I
Yeah.
thought. Sweet. Well, get into that. Yeah, like I said, we're here just the bulk of this episode. We're excited to talk about our influencers and people that give out
Yeah.
really good content too, because a lot of people. It's crazy what free content you can get if you're looking for it. Stuff that and membership sites are really popular right now. Pay $10 to be a member, but a lot of even those people on social media give out loads of free information, and we feel that these people, especially that we're going to talk about, really nail that. Um, at least we learn a lot from their information, free or paid. So, sweet.
Absolutely. Yeah. So with that, I don't know. Do you want to go first into yours?
Sure, absolutely. So, my first one that I'm going to talk about is called Renaissance Periodization, RP strength for short.
You
So,
got it. You said it right.
I did, yeah. It's a mouthful. Renaissance periodization. Holy cow. But I actually last May hired one of their bodybuilding coaches, Jared Feather. Shout out to Jared Feather, um, for myself. And wow, I've had a really, really good experience with Jared, especially. I've been following RP for a long time now, years, and learned a ton. They have a ton of free articles. We're going to link all this again below, which I highly recommend if you're interested in improving your body composition. They do work with a lot of realms, a lot of realms in the iron game, um, bodybuilding, powerlifting, CrossFit even, and just kind of getting stronger and bigger in general. But they do a lot with bodybuilding, a lot. And the thing I like about them is they're very research based. So a lot of them have PhDs or masters, and they work in research. They have publications, which is something that's important to me. And then they're also, on top of that, though, they're very good at applying the research into their clients. Um, so to go with that, Jared, he takes care of my new training and nutrition right now. So every week I check in with him, and what I like about it is it's not just like a program he sends me. I've had coaches in the past where back when I didn't really know what I was doing, I kind of bought a random coach offline, and he sent me a one-time program, and that was it. He didn't really change it much. He didn't really make it specific to me. But with Jared, I sent him a big questionnaire, and he tailored it just to me and my needs. So even to where the point where focus on more kind of specific body parts that need work and less on body parts that don't need as much. And then he's really big into kind of volume management. So based off of my soreness and recovery, we'll either add more sets or keep the sets the same kind of week per week. So it's just super, super individualized. There's nothing cookie cutter about it. So I appreciate that a lot. Which I personally think what's is a quality of a good coach, and a good coaching experience there too. So
Absolutely. I was just gonna say, like, yeah, I feel like program individualization is huge because you're not gonna feel the same like week to week, and maybe one week you'll have a really bad recovery week, or you won't be sleeping well, or like you'll be sore from a new workout or something. I don't know, whatever it is. Like, it's just you got to kind of go day by day based on like how your body feels, and I feel like you'll get better results long term if you
oh
do that rather than just like forcing yourself to stick to a program that you said you would.
oh for sure. And it's funny because it's I understand the why behind it, but a lot of people their workouts are just 3 by 8s and 4x5 or whatever. But and that's okay to a point. But once you understand how to customize the volume as far as sets per week, like to you, like the results for me personally have been just amazing this last year when I started doing that, and then even more so when I started having somebody professionally do it. And just the fact that I'm my own worst client, I can ponder the nuances all day that really don't matter as much, but just because it's me for myself. It's funny. I don't know if you're the same way, but like for other people, I can write them a program. It's not too much like mental fatiguing, but for me, I can spend
Yeah.
like 3 hours and I'm like, I got nowhere.
Oh,
Yeah.
I know. Yeah, it's like I know. I almost try to like that's one thing I never wanted to do with clients is like care less just because it's not a program that I'm personally doing. So like I always and not, I'm sure some trainers out there do that and are guilty of doing
Oh,
that,
for
but I
sure.
feel like we really try hard not to. Like I try to like step into their shoes and I'm like, okay, would I personally get behind doing this? And if I can say yes, then I'm like, okay, I think I'm on the right track. But if I'm like, no, I would never do that. Like, why would I give it to someone else?
Yeah, and that's so true too because well, the nice thing about Jared is I can be real with him, like, hey man, like this just isn't working. This setup we have
Yeah.
right here, and he's like, okay, let's change it. What works for you? So that's really good quality there too. So
Yeah.
there's so
That's
RP,
awesome.
Jared Feather, and the one of the co-founders too called Mike Israel, but RP Strength, you can find him on Instagram and Facebook and YouTube and everything. Especially YouTube, they drop a lot of good content that's free. So if you're into that kind of stuff,
Oh, awesome.
everything getting stronger, bigger, and more fit, check them out.
Cool. Where are they? Just curious. Where are they based?
So the cool thing about them is kind of all over. Um, Actually, the whole company, depending on your goals, has a whole team of people you can work with. So they have a couple doctors that focus just on weight loss with people with obesity and diabetes and stuff. They have people that just focus on bodybuilding, just focus on powerlifting. So they're kind of everywhere across the whole entire United States. I think a couple of them in California, a couple of them in Las Vegas. Um,
Okay.
so the company's United States, but as far as individuals, because it's all online, it's just everywhere across
Yeah.
the country. So it might even be across the globe. Actually, it might be one person in the UK. But
So do you do like Zoom videos calls with him, or is this all like
yeah,
text?
so the way it works is we every week I check in with him, and it's unlimited communication, which is really nice. So I can ask him questions. I have asked him a lot of questions because I love learning
I'm sure
through.
you
Yeah.
have.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. And I learned a ton too. So, but every week I kind of formally check in with him, just say, so I send him back my training program. I fill out the training program for the week, and then he sends it back to me and makes modifications in my weight and sets and reps and everything. Um, and yeah, then after that, I weigh in with him twice a week, and then it's all through email. And then we'll do Loom kind of videos, so basically just a kind of screen recording of us talking plus the screen to kind of go over some things. And yeah, oh, and then the nice thing is too, because of my testosterone replacement therapy, he's pretty experienced in that as well. So that's been really helpful too, because he's kind of the person I've been able to turn to get resources and ask questions like that, which um, and my situation is just interesting. So my doctor is a great guy, but um, I found that the resources like Jared is just a little more helpful and kind of specific to my goals and everything like that. So that's been really
For
helpful
sure.
too.
Yeah, that's great. And like I feel like when a trainer or a coach, like it's just awesome to have them as a friend, but just like they can be so many things to you. And I think
Yeah.
that's what James and I too try to be for our clients. It's like you need to be more than just a trainer. You need to be a friend, a support system, a motivator, like a good laugh. Like, I
Well,
feel like that's what makes people stay and like appreciate what you're giving to them.
yeah, I know. I was trying to find a different word. I actually don't like the word like client a whole lot because it's just so formal.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, because it really is like I want to be like your biggest support system, your friend, everything. Because it really builds good relationship with each other, and that's huge. I want you to be very open and um, not embarrassed to tell me anything or and all that everything that entails. So, and I'm sure you're on the same page. In fact, I know you are.
No, totally. Yeah, that's the fun of this job is just like building quality relationships that honestly could probably last a lifetime if you do it right, you
Yeah.
know.
Well,
So,
there's my big one I want to talk about. Um, I have a few more, but we can dive into those a little more later on.
Yeah, for sure. And two, with this podcast, we're going to be posting links of like maybe a couple more, inspirational people or like role models that we didn't get to mention in this episode so that we don't overwhelm you with a bunch of people. So if you're interested in finding out more about different people and want to find someone that really like speaks to you, check out, all the links that we're going to have below our podcast.
Yes.
So with that, should I dive into like maybe one or two of mine and we can talk
Absolutely. Yeah,
about
let's
that?
hear it. Well, I just from what a conversation before, like I think I need to learn more about kind of like who you look up to and everything. And yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah, well, so I'll start with okay, I think I'm saying her last name right. Carlie, if you ever do listen to this and I butcher your last name, I'm apologize. But anyways, her name is Carlie Petraitis. So she is someone that I found after following Bret Contreras, which James and I will both talk about later in this episode. But she is one of his clients, also a personal trainer. I think she's just a couple years. I think she's 25 or 26, so definitely has some more experience under her belt, which is something I really look up to. But yeah, so she started. She was like a Midwestern girl, I think from like Illinois, and then she decided to like pack up and move with her boyfriend to San Diego and like really pursue her dreams as a trainer like a couple years ago. And then she started training at the Glute Lab under Bret Contreras, which sadly, I don't know if you know this, James, but that's no more. He moved.
Yeah, he moved. I just saw that.
He
Do,
moved to Las Vegas, so which is great for someone like me because I actually have family in Las
so there
Vegas.
you
So
go.
like
Hey,
low key,
your goal of
I'm gonna go
training there
meet
one
him.
day, meet him one day is
Yeah, but so he moved gyms, and so he's no longer in San Diego. But anyways, that's kind of where she became like the strongest, like biggest version of herself. And by biggest, I don't mean physically, I just mean mentally, emotionally, and I'm gonna get more into that. But anyways, she is just someone that really helped me embody the whole expression be big, and that's something that she came up with. So she had this be big September strong kind of challenge this past September, and she was working towards this strong lifting competition that Bret Contreras hosted in Miami with a bunch of his clients. But what she did for her clients is basically create kind of a family challenge where again she had a Facebook group kind of like what James is doing, and she would give them kind of a discounted program, but then the whole kind of goal behind this program was to just like not let fear and judgment and all these other limiting factors get in their way of just being like the biggest, most kind of badass version of themselves. So it was like super cool as like an outsider looking in to like see these girls hitting PRs and like getting so hype about it and like just feeling so strong and so good in their own skin, and it really like I don't know, it really rubbed off on me and helped me a lot with like my mindset this past month, which is pretty cool.
oh super cool. Yeah, I saw that on Instagram, and some of those girls were pulling, especially deadlifts, like some pretty big numbers, especially weighted pull-ups. Holy cow! I
The
think
weighted pull-ups they do, like I would love to be able to do a weighted pull-up, with like a 45-pound plate attached
yeah,
to me one day.
I don't even I
Oh,
haven't done weight pull-ups forever, but I don't know if I could get maybe two, one.
yeah. And it's just like just I don't know, getting kind of talking about what we talked about in episode 2 last week, just like girls not being intimidated by heavy weights. Like this is really something that Carlie has instilled in herself and tries to instill in her clients and her followers, just like, you know, taking charge of the weight and not letting it intimidate you and going after your biggest, best version of yourself, regardless of kind of what society has ingrained in us, like in, the fitness industry. So, yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, I think yeah, I do follow her, but now I might have been mixing up my 'cause I like I said, I saw her on Bret Contreras' stories, and she was wow, she was pulling some weight.
She's
Yeah,
so strong. She's like 5'9", 170, and she's the one. So I don't know if there's like a world record hip thrust, but honestly, she must tied with Katie Sonier is
Yeah, I think it was
um
like 700 pounds or something like that. Was it 650?
so at the strong lift you meet, Carlie locked out barely, but she did lock out 740 pounds for a 1 rep max on
What
the hip thrust,
what
which
the
is
hell?
nuts.
That's nuts.
Like,
That's
can
insane.
you even fathom having that much weight on like
Any part of
your
your
hip?
body? Yeah. No.
Yeah, right.
Wow.
So like that in itself, like just watching videos like that, I highly recommend finding people like Carlie. Like find a Carlie for you, whoever that is, that really motivates you and like ignites the fire in you. And if you're not feeling up to a lift that day or like motivated to train, like just watching videos before working out just like gets you in such a headspace. Like if they can do it, I can do it. You know, like I'm sure you do this too, James, in a way.
Yeah, and I think I love how you said find somebody that resonates with you. So, of all the people we list and too, the list we'll put on our show notes is definitely not comprehensive. I'm sure I'm forgetting somebody and there's so many good people that put out good information. But these people specifically are ones that we feel like can really have helped us out and just put out quality content that generally care about you and your well-being and as far as kind of research backed and um, non BS, just very goal oriented. So disclaimer
Hmm.
there. But yeah, because a lot of people, if you uh, if you find somebody online and they just don't really have the same training philosophies as you, or and it's always good to be open minded and stuff. Um, for example, I'm not a power lifter, but I love this powerlifting podcast by Elite FTS. Um, and there's a lot of things you can take away, but it's really important to find people that you can kind of resonate with and just kind of really vibe with. So I think that's a
Totally. There's no like right or wrong people to follow.
yeah,
100%.
and just kind of make
Um,
make make sure that their head is true on straight. They're not trying to sell you anything weird like a I don't know, like keto. You can lose 20 pounds as
no,
long as you buy my supplement. Yeah.
exactly. I'm not a big fan of, I don't know. Most people I follow aren't trying to promote all these like outsider products and like pre-workouts and fitness like outfits. I don't know. I used to be into that, and like props to them for getting me started and like kind of my whole lifting fitness journey, but I've definitely outgrown those type of like quote unquote influencers.
Yeah, and it's funny because I'm thinking about a lot of people that I follow really only sell their own services, like training. Um,
Exactly.
some
Yeah.
some of them might have a pre-workout here and there and stuff. Well, yeah, a couple of them do, and they're awesome too. So, but there's definitely some goofy ones out there that you might want to stay away from. And it's kind of funny to think about how much of an influence they have. But wow, some people really have a lot of power over some people as far as kind of what their beliefs fall into. There's a couple quote unquote doctors, nutrition experts, um, and their credibility is kind of sketchy and they write books and it's just not research backed at all. It just has absolutely nothing to support it besides their own word. But people fall for it and it can kind of get to the point where it's if not unproductive, downright dangerous. So you really got to be careful of who you're following and just make sure that they have their head screwed on straight and they provide quality content and reliable good content, not just something that they are making money from. So
Absolutely, yeah, 100%. I agree with that. Oh, and one more thing before we move on, I just wanted to say I reached out to Carlie. I think you must have seen this on my Instagram story, but I reached out to Carlie, um, and just like I don't know, she's been such a big influence for me and like inspiration for me when I've been alone during quarantine, like going through all my treatments, like not really having someone to push me here. So I reached out to her and just told her like, "Hey, I just finished these treatments for Hodgkin's lymphoma and I've been lifting the whole time and like you've been a big part of that and I just wanted to like thank you." And she DM'd me back and I was so excited about it.
you had a little celebrity moment.
Yeah, I mean, she's literally like any other person. Like, she's not even a celebrity, but it was just cool. Like, that's what I love about social media is like you can make it. It doesn't have to be toxic. You can form little relationships, and just like a brief conversation like that can really like
Well, I'm sure
uplift your spirits
I'm
and like
sure it made your
motivate you.
day. I mean,
Yeah,
yeah.
it
Uh,
did. I definitely fangirled.
Yeah, hey, and that's just fine. And I'm sure it made her really happy too, to know she helped in some way.
Oh, for sure. I think yeah, she's like way bigger than I am as far as the following and whatnot. But like she's still just a mid-20s like personal trainer just trying to like figure it all out.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
yeah.
I know. I love when somebody like sees my story or post, and I kind of forget about whatever I wrote. Like a week later, somebody's like, "Hey, I tried this, or I had this meal you posted, or I tried this exercise." I'm like, "Sweet, it's like how'd it go? Like let's like I'm like really this is really intriguing. Let's talk about this because this is great." Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
So if somebody ever always engage. Engagement is really big. Um, just a little takeaway there.
Honestly,
But
for sure.
so,
Yeah.
are you ready to talk about the Bret Contreras?
Yes, I am ready.
I I can see in
I
your
think this
face.
has
Your face
been
just
like
lit up.
this has been like a long awaited moment kind of for both of us. We're going to like talk about him I feel like so many other times. So this is like just the
Yeah.
beginning, but I feel like we just need to like get his name out there and like talk a little bit about why we love him.
I think we should start by, and we talked about this in episode 1, but he's literally like the reason we became friends in a way.
Yeah.
Yeah. So do you? Yeah, we'll just go right into it. Paige was hip thrusting, and I was also hip thrust.
Shocker.
Right. Yeah. I was hip thrusting either that day or the day before, but I had my hip thrusting pad, which is a really nice foam pad you put around the bar. I think you're using like a yoga mat, which works, but it's always
Oh,
awkward, like no matter how you use it for hip thrusting.
it
So,
really is. I mean, props to like all the people that go to the gym and just still hip thrust even if they don't have a pad because like
oh
that's
yeah,
awesome. But life is so much easier and better and hurts less
with the
when you
pad,
have a legitimate
yeah,
pad.
and like tangent, but that $10 on Amazon. Mine, well, actually, I got mine on Lost and Found. Mine's pink. I don't care. It's great. Um,
That's
yeah,
awesome.
so I think that's the one that so Paige was hip thrusting, and I offered you to borrow the pad, and then just because hip thrusts like really weren't, they're still not, they're increasing popularity, but even at that time, there wasn't too many people that did it. So automatically you think of hip thrust, you think of Bret Contreras because he's the one who invented hip thrust. So I'm like, Paige, do you know
He
hip?
literally
Yeah,
invented an exercise. Like how cool. I think
yeah.
that's just so amazing.
Like a super efficient one too, and popular now, like increasing popularity. But yeah, so Paige, I asked Paige if she knows Bret Contreras, and she said yes. We both kind of had a little fan fan
Bonding moment.
yeah, hardcore fan moment, and there you go.
Yeah,
So he's the reason why
I
we're
know.
friends and hip thrust.
Yeah, no, I mean, so not only oh yeah, I guess that's his claim to fame is he invented this exercise, but then I mean, again, I mentioned it earlier, it's no more, but he did own and operate like the Glute Lab in San Diego, which is like kind of like a strength physique training gym that is primarily focused on building glutes. So obviously, if you could imagine, it attracts like a mostly female clientele. He had some male clients and like obviously a lot of male supporters too. Um,
Yeah, oh tons. I
so
he's one of the most, especially on social media, is one of the most followed out of all my influencers or out of my role models. Um, but yeah, I for me. Well, Paige and I both have the Glute Lab book. The guy wrote a book on how to train your glutes. It's a whole book on how to grow bigger and stronger glutes. Like that's what it's dedicated to. And it's 600
yes,
plus pages. It's
I was
crazy.
gonna say it's literally a textbook, but I mean, okay, I haven't started reading it yet. You've read it multiple
Yeah,
times,
one and a
but
half.
like it's
Proud.
I wouldn't view it as like a gross, boring textbook
No, not
that
at all.
you're gonna struggle through. I think once you start reading it, you're just gonna get sucked in and it's gonna be one of the most helpful things for you.
Yeah, and I noticed it's nice because, and I should say it's more than just growing your glutes. That's a lot of it, but it also gives you like programming considerations and stuff that if you read that book, you would be better off than literally 80% of the people working out. Like honestly, probably. I mean, that's a number I pulled out of
Totally.
my. But yeah. So it's really really helpful. Just and I learned so much just from like a being a better coach experience perspective too. So yeah, the guy who wrote a
Well,
book. Yeah,
that's what I like about him is that he's just yeah, he focuses on like glute training primarily, but he's just a very like well-rounded, balanced coach and he's not super like I don't know, he's the first coach or trainer that kind of preached like balance and like training like hard AF when you do train, but also just like having a life and enjoying your life and
yeah,
not
absolutely.
overdoing it in the gym. Like that was big for me.
Yeah, I mean, he really has that work-life balance figured out. Like you can just see on his stories, but he still makes progress. I know, back. I've been following for a lot of years now. So back when I was more into the kind of bro style of things, hardcore,
Yeah.
only chicken. And it's funny because I still only eat chicken and rice, but that's mainly just because I just like it now and I'm just lazy and it's easy to make. But back then when I thought it was like the holy grail of foods, I remember him posting burritos or stories of like burritos and stuff, and I'm like, this guy's like what? Like it's like mind boggling. I mean, not really, but back when, yeah, 5 years ago when.
I know he always posts his like, or he did post his like 7-Eleven gains runs where
Yep,
he'd
yep.
have like 70 grams of protein in like some sort of protein bar, like yogurt, beef jerky, and like something else that he got at the gas station, like a muscle milk.
Yeah, yeah. So no, he's awesome in a lot of ways. So if you looking
Yeah.
for a good guy to follow, and not even a lot of glutes, but not even glutes, just everything. He posts everything to do with getting stronger and building muscle and improving your body composition. Especially
Well,
especially towards the female, but males too. Yeah,
well,
go for it.
absolutely. Like, and you can see. Well, one thing we didn't mention is he's got like, okay, he's got a PhD, and then he's like,
Yeah.
is he like a certified strength coach,
Yes, yes,
right?
yes. Yep. Yeah, certified strength
Yeah.
conditioning
So I mean,
specialist
he knows his stuff, and like he's constantly posting on his stories like the research that he's
involved in.
putting in and the time and effort he puts in to like know what he knows.
Yeah,
So
well, and the
it's not.
guy.
This isn't a fluke thing.
No, and he runs experiments in his old lab. He runs like research in his lab too. So he has multiple publications on a lot of different credible publication sites and everything. So in journals.
Yeah.
Yeah. So content wise, great. A lot of free content on his website. I know if you want to support the guy, do. It's very helpful. I totally can relate. Like buy his
Mhm.
book. He also has a which some other people do too. We talked about, but you can pay like 10 or 15 bucks a month to get a training program. I think he has like a Facebook group too and stuff. So yeah, there's a lot of ways you can help him out because at the end of the day he's just a businessman trying to make a business too and make a living.
Yeah.
But
And
he
he and
just
he has his book, and then the other
yeah
thing that we didn't talk about, he's got I think it's called um I want to say Bret Contreras like Strength Official or something, but he has like a bunch of like products that you can buy online. So like I have
yeah
his
yep
like thruster bench, which is like, so you can hip thrust. This is just a side note, but you can hip thrust on like a regular gym bench. But you can also, I mean, more ideally, hip thrust on like an actual thruster bench, which is something he created because it's a little bit lower and it's geared to just doing hip thrusts on. So, like, we have one of those in our gym in the basement, and it's made like a world of a difference. Like, so much more enjoyable. You get so much more out of it. And he's got like, glute loops and like actual like hip thrusting bars that are shorter than a regular barbell and pads and like really anything you'd need for like his programs. He's got it.
yeah. And the cool thing is, I totally forgot about that, but he has, like I said, a large section of equipment. And if you get that equipment, especially at home, if you're home training, you kind of go along with his content and kind of follow along with his programs and stuff. So yeah, I mean that would be if you're if you're serious about it, that would be money well worth spent on equipment that's just high quality, and gonna get you where you want to be.
So if you're just trying to like, save money, but you still want to get the most out of his content, like seriously follow him on Instagram and save. I have so many saved posts of his. Like, you don't need to buy necessarily one of his programs to, train in the way that, he promotes you should train
Oh,
kind of
not at
thing.
all. And he has hundreds of free articles on his website too.
Exactly. Yeah.
Which, in fact,
So,
most of the people in our show notes or our own role models have free content. YouTube is huge, and articles themselves on the website too. So look into that if you're interested.
yes, absolutely. Yeah, so again, Instagram, maybe Facebook, but mainly Instagram and YouTube. You can
Yeah.
definitely find all these people that we've been talking about.
So really quickly, I just wanted to mention because I never hear this mentioned in podcasts or really anywhere, not as much. So, oh, Paige, you're coming back in the video. We lost each other for a sec, some connection
Oh,
errors. Sweet. There is a big lack of information out there with testosterone replacement therapy and just kind of anabolic steroids, and not inducing and not endorsing steroids, not saying you should do them, whatever. But I think if you ever go down that road and listen to bad information, you can really, really mess yourself up. So I'm not gonna get too much into it, but I just linked some people that are very credible. A lot of them have PhDs. They're actual doctors into this kind of stuff that know what they're talking about. So if you ever find yourself where you're looking into TRT or anything like that, um, don't just read off random forums online and get your information from Big Biceps 22 at randomforum.com. So yeah, I just wanted to put that in there because there's not a lot of information of where to find information. So I thought I'd just provide that to whoever could use that to their advantage.
For sure. Yeah. No, that's awesome. I'm sure a lot of listeners will appreciate that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
perfect. Well,
Ooh,
oh yeah, go
one
for it.
thing. Wait, big news. We did not
Oh
mention
yeah,
this
what are we
before.
doing? I
We're
totally
on
forgot to mention
Spotify
this.
now.
We made it to Spotify. We did it. We're yep, biggest goal achieved. Honestly, I'm so excited about it.
Now you don't have to like keep your phone unlocked to listen to us on YouTube and like just have to like sit in your bed to listen to us. You can literally listen to us from anywhere, doing anything. Super cool, super easy. So definitely go follow us. It's Strong Mind Built Body podcast, and yeah, all our episodes will now be uploaded on there. Also, we're trying to get on a bunch of other platforms too, which
Yeah.
is um, we're in the process of doing so. But right now we have Spotify, and that's a big one, kind of a big universal one that I think most people have. So
Yeah, and we're in the process, like Paige said, more ones. Apple Podcast is coming up. I just submitted, and we're waiting to get a review or something like that. And I think SoundCloud is an option too, but Spotify and YouTube right now. But I know YouTube is great, but having the phone open, because everybody listens to it on their phone. Like, let's be honest, who listens to podcasts on their computer? I mean, it's maybe sometimes, but
right.
having like your
Yep.
phone open is just so annoying on YouTube. So this is a
Well, now
big,
you can like go for a walk or
yeah,
go
yep,
running and not feel like an idiot.
this is a big win. Well, so
Yeah.
yeah, with that exciting news, check us out on Spotify now. Strong Mind, Built Body. Just type that in, and it should be the only one that pops up because we have a unique name, thankfully. So
Yeah, and make sure to follow us. We'd really appreciate it, and then you'll be updated on all the latest episodes. So
yeah, and I think we're kind of wrapping up here. And as always, please give us your feedback, ask questions. We have the emails and contact us and social media and everything. We love your feedback. It really is important to us. So um, I think with that being said, we will. Oh, I guess the last thing we should probably mention too is
yeah, one more.
yeah.
Basically, we had this thought that we try to like you know upload a new episode once a week, but we're slowly realizing or quickly realizing that like it might be a little unrealistic in terms of we just want to give you the best episodes that we can while progressing our own businesses. And because we're getting busier, we don't want this to be like a back burner project by any means. So we're thinking of just, uploading an episode probably like twice a month. So kind of like bi weekly. Expect that going forward. And I think that'll just be better, like all around for everyone.
Yeah. I think, and we can still put out quality content, and really focus on it, and give it the attention it deserves, rather than just kind of get content out for the sake of content. So,
Exactly.
but either way, when we do have a new episode, we will let you know. And going forward, be looking forward to episode 4, Untitled.
Yes. So
We'll
excited.
figure that out later.
Yeah, exactly. It's like we don't know what it's going to be about yet, but we
Yeah,
promise it'll be good. So stay tuned.
for sure. Well, Paige, that's all I got. Thanks a lot.
I know. Always thanks to you too, and talk to you guys later.
Yep. Have a good one.